Back so soon. It must have been worse than I had thought.
Hello, Dreadwolf.
But perhaps I am mistaken. You may be here to correct me, to tell me that my concerns were unfounded. I am, after all, remembered as the god of lies, treachery, and rebellion.
So you're gonna be insufferable about it. See, this is the reason nobody likes you.
I led a rebellion for centuries that culminated in the creation of the Veil and the destruction of the Elven Empire.
Okay, this is among the reasons nobody likes you.
My information was accurate. Now you realize that the danger is real.
I need to know what the gods are planning.
You are asking for knowledge no mortal in this world is privy to. If I am to share it with you, I need to know what makes you the right person to lead the fight against Algernon and Gillenane.
Someone has to do something. I may not be the right person for this job, but I'm the only one left.
So your call to action is that any attempt is better than none?
I met Varric when he asked the Shadow Dragons for help with freeing an old friend from Venatori slavers. The Shadow Dragons had a safe plan that wasn't gonna work.
So you and Varric led an armed rebellion and dealt a devastating blow to the Venatori.
How'd you know that?
You helped Varric pursue me for the better part of a year. It would have been foolish not to learn about who was hunting me.
Then you know that if someone has to make a call, I'll do it.
I suppose I was not so different when I started.
Started what?
My rebellion against the Evanuris. The Elven gods, as you call them. They wish to reclaim their dominion over this world. To accomplish that, they will need two things. First, the Blight. What exists in this world is a bare fragment of its power. The rest is imprisoned, until they release it.
The rest of the Blight is imprisoned? There's more than what's in the world already?
Yes. Centuries ago, the Magisters of Tevinter opened my prison. A tiny fragment of the Blight escaped. That fragment grew beneath the earth and led to the Blights that have swept across the world. However terrible the Blight is now, it is a mere fraction of what we will see if its full power is unleashed.
I don't understand. Elgernon and Gillenane were elves like you, right? Why would they want to blight the world?
It is my fault. As the Dread Wolf, I was a thorn in their side. When my efforts weakened their grasp on the Elven people, they grew frustrated, then desperate.
And turned to the Blight.
Once the corruption took hold of them, they were blind to its horror. It was just another source of power for them. Now they would blight the world without hesitation, and call us backward and foolish for opposing them.
The Blight didn't escape with the gods?
Algernon and Gillenane escaped largely empty-handed, fortunately. Most of the Blight is still trapped in the prison I created ages ago.
So what we saw at that village, that's them not at full strength?
Correct.
What would they need to do to free the Blight, and how do we stop them from doing it?
They will need to pierce the veil to reach the Blight's prison. My Lyrium dagger is one of the few artifacts capable of doing so.
We've already recovered it from the ritual site.
Excellent. Then they will have to make their own. That will give you time.
You said the gods needed two things, and the Blight is the first. What's the second?
Followers. They have called themselves gods. And what is a god without worshippers to sing their praises?
You think they want the elves back? I don't think the elven people will bend a knee to blighted, murderous monsters.
Agreed. Algernon and Gillenane care little for the elves. They will find worshippers among those hungry for power. Tyrants and bullies. The cruel and the corrupt, who fear their own vulnerability and seize any chance to feel strong. If you hunt them, they will lead you to Algernon and Gillenane.
Thank you. I'll go poke at the cruel and the corrupt, and we'll see what we find.
The Veravas, the lighthouse Soluvian, can take you anywhere. If you master its secrets. Have you done so?
Not yet, but we've got one of the Veil Jumpers working on it. She'll get it sorted and we'll see how it goes.
Yes. I suppose we will. And when you speak with Varric, please tell him that I regret what happened. When last we spoke, you intended to assault the cruel and the corrupt, in hopes of finding servants of Elganan and Gillenane. Has your search been successful?
You could say that. It looks like both the Venatori and the Antom are working for Elganon and Gillenane.
Unsurprising. The Venatori want magical secrets, and the Antom want to destroy anyone opposing their brutal expansion. Both will readily bow to anyone who promises them power.
And they're using that power to hurt a lot of people. The Antom and the Venatori both have dragons doing their bidding.
Dragons? That is worse than I had feared.
Yeah. We drove off the one the Venatori brought into Minrathous. Barely.
Have you determined how the dragons are being directed? If it is blood magic, it may be possible to disrupt their control.
The dragons were blighted. We think that's what let the gods control them.
The Blight. Of course.
The Blight seems to be the gods' favored tool right now. We ran into Venatori who could control Darkspawn.
Elganan would not bestow such power unless the Darkspawn were to serve as the main force of his army. And I suspect Gillenane will see the Darkspawn as new subjects for her modifications.
We've already run into a few Darkspawn nobody has seen before. That's in addition to the Blighted Dragons.
That is the fate Elganan and Gillenane planned for this world then. Corruption and blighted slavery.
Right. Everyone should be free and uncorrupted when your demons and raw magic kill them.
Do you truly believe my goal was to destroy this world?
I believe your goal, like you said, was to transfer the gods to a better prison. The one you're stuck in now. And you were willing to tear down the Veil and destroy this world while you did so.
The Veil is a wound I cut into the Fade in a moment of desperation, while making their prison. It should not exist. I had a host of spirits ready to help when the Veil fell. They would have minimized the loss of life.
We thought you were just bringing the Veil down to destroy everything. If we'd known...
Thousands would still have perished. Varric would never have agreed to such a plan.
Why would you agree to it?
The world is broken because of my past choices. It falls to me to heal it, even if that healing comes with a cost.
Spoken like a god.
I am not a god. I am as I have always been. A man, all too aware of his failings. But equally aware that if he did not act, accepting the judgment it would bring, all would be lost. They call me the Dread Wolf. What will they call you when this is over?
I've got enough problems right now as it is. That's one for future Rook to deal with.
Pragmatism. You will focus on the present, knowing that someday you will face the consequences of your choices. I believe I can work with that. If the gods are using dragons, you will wish to find someone trained to fight them. Have you unlocked the Lighthouse Illuvian?
Yeah, we found the crossroads. It's still confusing though.
I cannot help you from in here. You may need to find an expert in the magic of the Fade. And if the Darkspawn are to be Elganan's army, you will need Grey Wardens to fight them.
I've got a few of them. Their leaders don't trust me right now though.
I have faith in you, Rook. You seem to have a knack for gaining the cooperation of your adversaries. How fares your battle?
The gods are moving against Weishaupt and the Grey Wardens. We've heard rumors the Darkspawn are being led by an archdemon.
And you have questions?
I need to know how archdemons relate to the gods. Are they just like the Blighted Dragons, or are they something else? I also need to know how to deal with the gods if they show up at Weishaupt.
I propose a bargain. I will answer your question if you answer mine.
What?
How are the Grey Wardens? Do they understand the truth of the danger yet?
We've been through this already. You agreed to help me.
What did you think my help would look like, Rook? I need to know that you are prepared.
I've gotten a few of them to come around.
A few of them?
We've even got a Grey Warden on the team now. Davrin.
But the Grey Wardens as a whole still do not trust you yet, as I feared.
We're making progress.
When I asked why you should be trusted to lead the fight, you said that nobody else was doing it. That sufficed for me, but you will need more to convince the Grey Wardens. They see themselves as destined to lead this battle. You cannot defeat Elganan and Gillenane without the Wardens. What will you do to bring them to your side?
I don't have to convince all of them. I just have to convince the First Warden.
Or remove him.
Enjoyable as that is to imagine, I doubt the rest of the Wardens would approve.
Did you know the Evanuris once numbered many more than those whose names survive in the Elven Pantheon? One warlord was particularly cruel. I sought to free his slaves, but so fearsome was his reputation that none would join me.
What did you do?
I made people laugh at him.
How did that help?
For 12 years. Every sound near him, from whispered pleas to shouted oaths to crackling fire, all became mocking laughter. His mind broke under the ridicule, and when he fell, his slaves rose up and joined me.
I doubt laughter is going to work on the First Warden.
If not that, then what?
Whatever it takes.
Easily said, but it will have to be enough for now. You have answered my question, and I owe you an answer in return.
Yes. The old gods of Tevinter. The archdemons.
There never were Tevinter gods. The archdemons, as you call them, were always merely the weapons of the Evanuris.
Alright, let's hope we can find the gods before they find their weapons.
Unfortunately, the Dragon Thrall's life force is bound to the Evanuris as both power and protection. You will not be able to kill or likely even harm one of the Evanuris until their Dragon Thrall is slain.
The old stories of the Tevinter gods have them whispering in the dreams of ancient magisters. How did they do that if they were just tools of the elven gods?
The archdemons were once high dragons. The Evanuris bound them as a source of power. When I imprisoned the gods, their dragons remained free. That was my mistake.
How so?
I never bound a dragon to myself, for I believed that to enslave another creature was immoral. As such, I did not understand the power that connection gave. I thought the prison I had made was perfect. But their dragons were the conduit through which they spoke to dreaming minds.
What can you tell me about the archdemons themselves?
Each is different, shaped by the whims and ego of its master. Elganan is the Lord of Tyranny. He would have ruled alone had Nathor not forced him to share power. Those who are strong, he molds into dictators themselves, with visions of godhood. Those who are weak, he crushes. His archdemon reflects him. It is huge, to feed his ego, the epitome of dragonkind, bent to his will.
Elganon sounds legitimately terrible.
He is cruelty and arrogance personified. All of the Evanuris were flawed, but he made all of them worse. By contrast, Gillenane was a servant of Andrul, whose skill at making monsters earned her promotion to the Evanuris. She is brilliant, ambitious, and unconstrained by anything you would understand as morality. In a kinder world, you would never need to see what she has done to her archdemon. In this world, I only hope you kill it quickly. In any event, the Evanuris will not be vulnerable until their archdemons are dead.
Any other surprises we should know about?
Even with their dragons dead, the Evanuris are powerful and well protected. You will need to use my dagger, the one you recovered. It can pierce their enchantments and strike them down.
Alright. Kill the archdemons, then use the dagger to take down the gods.
Even a single opportunity to strike the Evanuris down will be rare, fleeting, and costly. You will not have another chance to catch them unawares. When you strike, you must be fully prepared. The fall of Weishaupt reverberated across the Fade, as did the fall of an archdemon. But unless I am mistaken, both Elganan and Gillenane yet stand.
We took down Gillenane's archdemon, but we weren't able to kill her.
And how are you doing?
I watched a lot of Wardens die while Gillenane didn't. How do you think I'm doing?
You saw Treviso blighted. What makes Weishaupt harder to bear?
This time I was in charge. The Grey Wardens listened to my plan. My team followed orders. Everyone was depending on me. But we couldn't kill Gillenane. Weishaupt fell because I failed.
Rook, I led a rebellion against Elganan for 100 of your lifetimes. I have been where you now stand. Do you know how many times I had to order my rebels to retreat when we were outmatched in raw power? You rendered Gillenane mortal and escaped with your lives. The sting of wishing you had done more will push you to improve. But Weishaupt was a victory, and your team will see your passion, even if you must conceal the extent of your own pain. How are your companions, after what happened?
They have what it takes to stop the gods. I just need to get them to believe it.
Indeed. They must know beyond any doubt that you believe in them. You cannot stand against Elganan and Gillenane with logic. Those motivated by greed or self-interest will change alliances, but those who serve you with passion and loyalty will follow wherever you lead, even to their deaths if necessary.
I knew I might have to make a call like that when Varric put me in charge.
A good leader never makes such a decision lightly. But when the time comes, it is better to be prepared. And perhaps it will not come to that. The stronger your team, the more chances you will have to avoid such a decision.
I'll keep that in mind. Do you have any suggestions on our next move against the gods?
If you oppose Elganan and Gillenane's minions, you will get your opportunity.
You think one of the Antam or Venatori commanders will help us find the gods?
Possibly. But more importantly, you will aggravate them. You rendered Gillenane mortal at Weishaupt. It is an embarrassment, an insult, neither she nor Elganan can ignore. If you continue to disrupt their plans, you will not need to track them down. They will come to you.
I'll be ready.
One final warning. You have survived a confrontation with Gillenane, which few still live to claim. But her power pales in comparison to Elganan's. If he takes the field himself, remember, in a fight such as ours, escaping to fight another day is a victory.